Morning, my name is Libby Gore. Across Victoria today, we're looking around about for a top of 18 degrees, possible shower happening. Your guest in the studio is Helen Parry Jones. Now, if you've ever contemplated the spiritual world, making contact with those that have passed and gone, bah, humbug, well, maybe you'll think again, or maybe you could offer an anecdote that says you have had a connection. Helen is in Victoria, doing a tour actually. She has a show on in St Kilda tonight at 7:30 at the Parkview Hotel.
It's not a show.
In Blaine on Wednesday and Saturday in Caulfield, a healing workshop. She also has a couple of books, a website that you can jump on, helenparryjones.com. Helen,
Thank you.
what are the signs?
Well, of course, our loved ones try to contact us whenever they can by giving us signs. Some of those signs can be as simple as leaving a feather in the most unusual places. Now, I'm not just talking about a feather dropping out the sky. I'm talking about a feather actually being in a very, very unusual place.
Why a feather?
It's because it's the connection between what they consider to be the godlike state. So for some reason, people seem to connect with that. And it seems to be a very, very, let's say, it's a normal thing. It's a common thing.
For an uncommon thing.
Yes. I mean, I was sitting in the airport, in Dublin Airport, actually on the loo, can you believe it? And a feather just dropped down out the sky onto my hand, and I'm like, where's that come from? So it happens to people, but more so than that, when your guides and your loved ones are around you and they've recently departed, sometimes they have a very strong energy pull. And so they can either suck energy or blow energy. And so what you tend to get is either that clocks, watches, batteries, things like this slow down, and it's their way of saying, I wish I could turn time back a little bit, or it speeds up and it boosts things and it blows things like your bulbs and switches things on and all of that. And it'd be interesting to see if anyone out there's experienced that.
Got to get to the calls because we've got just 8 or 9 minutes to go together. Good morning to you, Kate. Is that Kate? No, it's not. It's Amanda. Hello.
Oh, hi Libby. Hi Helen.
Hi.
I just wanted to ask Helen a question. My daughter died 4 years ago, very suddenly. She died on her 16th birthday, anniversary birthday the same day, the week before Christmas. She had a disability, but it was still very unexpected, extremely sudden. And a symbol she had throughout her life was butterflies, to the point where we released butterflies when we cremated her.
Oh, how beautiful.
And I just find that this time of year, that same type of butterfly, which is the orange monarch one, is around my front door all the time.
And
I often sleep out there at night.
I know that
I just wondered if that's her.
Definitely it could be, but it's more than that, isn't it? I mean, one could say, oh, there's definitely butterflies out there. But you know what's so amazing? Don't you find that that butterfly is attracted to you? And it's because the energy from your daughter is probably pulling that towards you. You know, the spirit will tell me that they often use a lot of animals. You know, people love birds, they love little animals sometimes, and they do tend to use those common things to try and get our attention.
And then, you know, Amanda, the other thing, the way that you could look at it, just if you didn't want to go there, but I guess you do want to go there, is that when you're looking for something, you see it too, and it's a beautiful thing to have around your front door.
Yeah, at the end of the day, that love link never dies. Your daughter will be whole and living her life in the spirit world, and as much as we miss her here, you know, she's obviously connected to you.
I hope you get through this time. That must be hard for you.
Yes, sending you love.
Thank you.
In fact, everyone's sending you love.
Thank you, Libby.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hung up too quick, didn't mean to, sorry. Jan, hello.
Oh, good morning, Helen. And,
Good morning.
Friend, sorry, I can't think of the name.
Helen, Libby.
Libby, thank you. I had a very vivid experience. I had a son who passed away at 31 and a half. He had a mild intellectual disability. It was quite traumatic. And I'd been to a spiritual medium who said to keep an open mind and invite messages. And one morning I was woken at probably 4 o'clock, sound asleep, and all I could see was flashing lights, and I'm thinking, oh, am I having a stroke or something? But I received a message as clear as this: don't worry, Mum, I'm happier now.
Oh, how beautiful.
So that was so so profound.
And the
It's
thing
just-
is that we use two parts of our brain. We use our conscious mind and our unconscious mind. And when we're actually asleep or we're falling asleep, we use our unconscious mind. And that has a very, very low barrier for the spirit world, so they can connect in usually with that. I mean, how many times have you ever had premonitions, Libby? You know, where you feel things sometimes
I
at
know,
night.
but I'm sort of a follower of Jung, Carl, not Johnny, and that's a different universal unconscious.
okay.
But Jan, did that make you feel better?
It certainly did, yes. It lifted my spirits and still
Oh.
does, and that was some years back. So I sort of, for me, that's some kind of proof that, yes, the
And
sense is
healing.
sincere.
Just helps
Because
you.
he didn't have the happiest life here, but he wanted me to know he was
He was
Oh,
okay.
that's so beautiful.
So it sort of gave you a bit of completion and healing.
And that's the thing, really, isn't
Thank you,
it?
Jan.
It's about moving forward in a positive way.
All right. Kate, hello.
Hello. Hey, mine's quite different.
Okay.
How mine started was I was about 5 or 6. And I used to, when I used to go to sleep at night, I used to go off floating. I could go out of my body, see my body, go through walls and doors and do all sorts of silly things. And then after that, I started seeing them. And it got to a point, it got very embarrassing because sometimes they'd stand right next to me. They'd walk through me. I never called them, they're just there.
It sounds to me like you actually are able to do something called astral travel.
Oh
And
my goodness.
And in fact, the KGB actually have something set up for stuff like that. Now, in the war, they used to use people who used to be able to do that, to be able to see into enemy camps. So you see, maybe you just have a bit of a gift to be able to do that.
Have you ever met someone who says they have spiritual abilities, Helen, and you are skeptical of them? Like,
Absolutely.
How do you prove?
I think
get
in
people
this
to prove
world,
themselves to you.
And at the end of the day, you know, it doesn't matter what you do in life. There are people who do their job well and there's people who don't do their job well. And you can't actually criticise people for whatever they're doing. But yes, I come across a lot of charlatans, and that's what gives this particular profession a bad name. But then you could be going to a doctor, couldn't you? And they could be equally as bad. So you just, you know, it's
I don't know
difficult.
about that because one's got.
Oh, I know quite a few doctors that should be struck off, I think.
I guess. I won't go into that. I won't get taken there. I will read you, however, this text just before we go, which I thought was pretty interesting. Libby, 2 weeks ago, I was having a lovely holiday in New South Wales and we stayed at the Hydro Majestic. Husband self had this strange conversation about missing our mothers, and I wondered sometimes if mine was always beside me. My husband said, somewhat in irritation, that he definitely did not believe it was possible. And with that, the table our drinks were sitting on began to vibrate. Talking about spooky, was that my mum?
It sounds like it was very much somebody from the other side trying to let you know that they're there. Strange things happen, don't they? And sometimes we put them down to coincidence. The other day, I was thinking of my own mother, and as I walked through the door of a bookshop, they literally played her funeral music as I was walking through. So there are things that we can put down to coincidence, but actually, is it a coincidence? I think it's not. I think it's our loved ones reaching out to us, letting us know that they're definitely there.
Thank you so much for coming in
That
and
was
joining
beautiful.
us.
I wish I had more time with you.
So do I. Helen Parry Jones has been your guest. She has a website under her own name. In particular, Paula, I'm sorry we can't get to your call. I'm sorry, everybody, that we can't get to your call. We're literally blowing up the switchboard. But I thank you for your indulgence in discussing another part of what makes people feel better.
And I have to tell you that Libby's aura is amazing. She's beautiful, honestly. She's just as beautiful on air and off air.
Yeah, you can come again.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Helen. Coming
Thank
up,
you
you'll meet
so
John
much.
Mackenzie.
Genuinely, you do.
Yeah.